Hello everyone, welcome to the Learning Cubicle. Before I start with anything, let me ask you a simple question. For us on earth, could you tell me what is the main source of energy? I think most of you people must be saying it is sun. It is the sun. Yes, you are absolutely right. It is the sun. So the prime source of energy for us on earth or even the other planets in our solar system, the sun is the chief source of energy. So we, the people on earth and the living organisms on earth, all of them depend on the sun for light and even heat. So we all must be very familiar about the word light. So let us first try to understand what is light. What is light? Okay? So as I said, we the people on earth or the living organisms on earth depend on the sun for energy, that is light and even heat. So that says very clearly that light is a form of energy. Light is a form of energy. Now what does it do? How does it help us? It's a very simple question. We all know that light is a form of energy which enables us to see the things around us. It enables us to see the things around us. Or we can say that light gives us the sensation of vision. So light is a form of energy which causes in us the sensation of vision. In simple terms, we can say that light enables us to see the things around us. And also I would like to add to this that light is also electromagnetic in nature, or it is also called as an electromagnetic radiation. So light is a form of energy which causes in us the sensation of vision. That means it enables us to see the things around us, and also it is electromagnetic in nature, or it is an electromagnetic radiation. Okay? And we have also learnt in our lower classes in grade 8 that light undergoes a phenomenon called as reflection, and also it undergoes refraction as well. So light undergoes a phenomenon of reflection and refraction. So in this chapter or in this class, our topic, or we are going to learn about light, reflection and refraction. This is our topic for today. So we are going to learn about light, reflection and refraction. Okay? So let's quickly go through what we have learnt today so far. We have understood, or we have recapped the fact that light is a form of energy which causes in us the sensation of vision, that is, it enables us to see the things around us. It is electromagnetic in nature, and also it undergoes phenomena like reflection and refraction. Okay? Now let us try to understand in detail, or let us try to refresh our knowledge of reflection and refraction. Reflection. So what is reflection? Reflection is basically when rays of light go and hit a surface and if they bounce back, we call that phenomenon as reflection. Okay, whenever light rays go and hit some surface and if they bounce back, we call that phenomenon as reflection. Now, here, let me ask you a question. From what kind of surfaces does light get reflected? What kind of surfaces? From what kind of surfaces light gets reflected? So, I think the people who are watching this video, most of them would be saying that light gets reflected from smooth or polished surfaces. Most of us or most of you people must be thinking or must be saying that light gets reflected from smooth or polished surfaces. Is that all? That light is going to get reflected from smooth or polished surfaces? No, it isn't. Light also gets reflected from rough or irregular surfaces as well. Light even gets reflected from rough or irregular surfaces as well. Okay, is that all? No. Light also gets reflected from plane or even curved surfaces. Flat or curved surfaces also reflect light. So, light gets reflected from smooth or polished surfaces, rough or irregular surfaces, and even plane or curved surfaces as well. In our kitchen, you must have seen the cutlery, spoons, they are curved. From that also light gets reflected. You are able to see the things around you, the trees, the buildings and all. They are all irregular surfaces. We can see them still because light is getting reflected from them. And at the same time, you can see yourself in a mirror, which is a smooth and polished surface. So, light is getting reflected even from smooth or polished surfaces, rough or irregular surfaces, and even plane or curved surfaces as well. Right? Okay. Let me link another question to this. From what kind of bodies or materials? From what kind of bodies or materials does light get reflected? From what kind of bodies or materials does light get reflected? You must have understood by now what am I referring to, materials or bodies in the sense. I am talking about transparent, translucent, opaque. So, let me list down those. Transparent materials, translucent materials, and even opaque bodies or opaque materials. So, the question is, from which of these bodies does light get reflected? So, let us go back to the definition of transparent or translucent or opaque materials. We all have learnt that transparent materials allow most of the light to pass through them. So, in the definition it is clearly mentioned that transparent objects allow most of the light to pass through them. That means even transparent objects reflect some light. So, transparent objects reflect some light. Translucent also, because we know translucent materials are those which allow the light to pass through them partially. Means a part of it passes through them and a part of it gets reflected. And coming to opaque, they do not allow the light to pass through them, so they reflect the light. So, all the three kinds of materials or bodies and all the three kinds of surfaces reflect light. So, light gets reflected from any kind of surfaces and even any kind of materials. So this is something which you people should know. There may be people who might be thinking that light doesn't get reflected from transparent materials. No, they do. If you stand in front of a glass window pane, you can see your reflection in that. Not clearly, but faintly. Which is an indication that transparent materials reflect light. Not completely, partially. Very little bit. Okay. 95% of that may pass through that, but a 5% of that will get reflected. So, transparent, yes. Translucent, of course, and opaque, very obvious. Okay. So, we need to also understand the light, whenever it gets reflected, it obeys certain laws. When light gets reflected, it obeys certain laws, which we call as the laws of reflection. Okay, the laws of reflection. So what are these laws of reflection? You have already learnt it in your lower classes. There are two laws. There are two laws of reflection. The first law states very clearly, and at the same time it supports the statement which I just made. Okay, what is that? Let me see. Let me tell you. Whenever light gets reflected from any surface, see, this part supports my statement. Whenever light gets reflected from any surface, means it can be plain, curved, rough, irregular or smooth, or even opaque, transparent, translucent, any surface. From any surface, angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So whenever light gets reflected from any surface, angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. That's the first and foremost rule or the law of reflection. The second one, incident ray, normal, and the reflected ray. Incident ray, normal, and the reflected ray all lie on the same plane. All lie on the same plane. At the point of incidence. Okay. The second law, I'll repeat it. The incident ray, the normal, and the reflected ray all lie on the same plane at the point of incidence. Okay. So this is the second law. Now let us look at this second law. Let us take as reflecting surface, say a mirror. This is how you show a plane mirror. Okay, and this is our incident ray, means the light ray which falls on the mirror, and this is the point of incidence, means where the incident ray strikes the mirror, and here we draw perpendicular, we call it as normal, and then the light gets reflected from there. This is what we call the reflected ray. Okay. So if you observe carefully over here, the incident ray, the normal, and the reflected ray, if you take them individually, they are in different planes. This is in this plane here, and if you take this one, this is in this plane here, and if you take this one, this is in this plane here. They are in different planes or different surfaces altogether, but they all lie on the same plane if you see at the point of incidence. at the point of incidence, they are all lying on the same plane, and that plane is nothing but this mirror what you have taken, this mirror. So the surface of mirror or the reflecting surface is where the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray lie. Okay, so this is the second law of reflection. Okay, so we will learn more about the properties of light, and in particular about the curved mirrors, that is spherical mirrors like convex and concave mirrors. We will learn in detail in the next class. Thank you so much.